Hi, thank you so much for joining us for these reading sprints. I'm here with my friend Kirsty today, and hopefully Charlie will be joining us soon, unless something's come up. I'm so ready to chat books with people again. It feels, I don't know, it's only been a week since my last ones, but I think Christmas makes time move differently, doesn't it? It feels like I've not talked to people outside my family for a while, and not that that's a bad thing. I'm talking to my family. Yeah, how are you, Kirsty? Have you done much reading over the holiday period?
Hi, dog.
Of course, dogs and children just find the moment, don't they?
Of course.
Talking to somebody.
Yes, I have. I've been trying to finish off a reading challenge that my friends and I kind of set and have done for the past few years. So I finished a really good book that I think you would like.
Oh, what's that?
Last night, Silver Under Nightfall.
Oh, cool. Haven't heard of that. I'm going to add that to my list.
It is vampires.
Excellent. I guess it might be from the title, but I didn't want to assume.
Yeah, vampires, and kind of almost like a Jane Austen type setting in some respects. So there's bulls and then there's crazy monsters and a bit of a mystery in there as well. So it's really good.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Is that by a UK or US author? Or from somewhere else?
It's Rin Chapeko, who is born and raised in the Philippines.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah. They wrote the Bone Witch trilogy, if you've ever heard of that.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that name does ring a bell. No, actually,
yeah,
I think
which
I
haven't read yet, but I do own that.
Exactly the same here. Maybe I should buddy read that at some point.
Yeah,
that's been on my TBR for a ridiculously long time. I can see some comments coming up. I'll head to the comments in a minute. I'm just going to say that if you want to let us know what you're reading and getting up to, then feel free to do that in the comments. Sorry, interrupting myself to remembering what I need to say in Spence. So I am reading The Luminaries, which comes out in January, but the ebook I think is out already, but the physical copies come out in January. And I'm really enjoying it. I have a bit of a mixed relationship with fantasy. I don't always find it super accessible just because it's so dense with world building and stuff, but this is really, really, really good. Like, I'm finding my way into the world really easily, and it feels really cool and original. I'm just very happy. And Susan Dennard's got a big back catalogue as well, so I'm happy that I can now go back and read through her other stuff. I did read quite a lot. I read The Very Merry Murder Club kind of in the run-up to Christmas. That was really good. Have you read that one?
Yeah. I think I read that when it was out in hardback. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Ago.
I think I heard it was out in hardback, but for whatever reason I didn't. Was that last Christmas then that it came out?
Yeah.
And I saw the beautiful Sprayed Edges Waterstones edition because it was book of the month. So I picked up a copy.
That's what swayed you then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it did. I mean, I don't read loads of middle grade. I always enjoy it when I do, so I don't know what happened there. And when I think of some of the books I really loved this year, like Dash Roberts' book, The Big Wolf Conspiracy. I always want to say Bigfoot is Big Wolf. Like that was an amazing book, and I thought I need to read more middle grade. Do you read much middle grade?
I do, yeah. I read quite a lot normally.
Yeah, I thought you did. I thought it seemed happy.
I'm trying to think if I've read any that recently. I think my last few books of the year have been kind of big fantasy. So the one I'm going to be reading tonight is The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik, the third in the Scholomance trilogy.
Oh, cool.
So that's the last book that I need for this challenge.
Emotional reading the last book in the series.
Yeah.
I keep getting behind with series, but then feeling quite glad, like the Kingdom of the Beard and all those, and the Kerry Maniscalco ones. Like, I've still not picked up the first one, and it's finished. So, but it's quite good because it means I can just binge them all now.
Yeah, definitely. I got my Fairy Leak copy of Kingdom of the Feared today, actually. And I like you, I haven't read the first one yet.
Oh god, I wish I'd ordered those because they're really beautiful, aren't they? The special edition ones. I need to start getting more. I really got out of the habit of getting Fairy Leak and Luma Crate. I had them both like early on, and it got to the point where I was spending a lot a month on book subscriptions, so I stopped. But
I should.
I mean, I feel like books are always an investment, and you know they're an investment for your future self as well because you can read them whenever you like. So, just going to pop some comments and see who's here. Hi, Stephen. Yes, we've just been talking about our lovely Christmases that we've had. Hope you're having a good one too. Hello, thank you for joining us. Ooh, fun. Sounds festive. Hi, thank you for coming along. Hi, Lizzie. Oh, sorry about the headache. Where are you up to in Supernatural? I keep thinking that I want to rewatch it, but I haven't watched the last few seasons, so I don't know whether to kind of start from the beginning and then.
Same. I'm having the same dilemma.
See
I think
how
I
far
stopped
I
at
get.
about series 12.
Same here. I was losing it a little bit with the heaven and hell stuff. I got a bit like, I don't know. I think they did that too early, and for me, it was just how do you beat like going up against the devil and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the series runner wanted to finish at a certain point, didn't he? And I was like, do you carry on watching it past the person who made it, like the point that he was happy with? Don't know. But then it's Sam and Dean, and they're great, and Cass is great, so maybe
exactly. I will
Hi.
at some point.
We did, thank you. Sorry, speaking on your behalf. I can feel certain to say it because you've already said it to me.
Oh yeah, no, I did have a lovely Christmas.
Oh, are you talking about the Kingdom of one? I'm so jealous of people that thought ahead to the books that they might want to read.
I think Luminaries, I think maybe.
Oh, Illuminaries. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, I think they did it early for
it was we had a hardback copy in at the Illumicrate. Because obviously
nice.
Daphne, who runs Illumicrate, and Daphne Press are publishing the Luminaries.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. I sort of knew that, but I'd not made the connection in my head recently. Packing up, drinking tea. Oh, I have lots of exhausted people at this time of year, I think. Everybody look after yourselves. Hi, Han. Oh, well done. I mean, I love that your last essay is on Percy Jackson. That feels like it might be a bit less painful than some essays could be. That sounds cool. Have you read any Shauna Maguire books, Kirsty?
No, I've got some waiting for me. I've heard good things.
So. Yeah, me too. How do you pronounce that? Did I say that wrong?
No, I have no idea. No, I'd probably pronounce it the same way you have, but only because you've said it already.
I'll put it in your head. Han, spell it out phonetically for me in the comments if I've said it wrong. Oh, I feel like Ellie, you need to tell me. Can I manage that book? Have you read it, Kirsty?
No.
It's so long. I really want to, but just I know how long fantasy takes.
Pre-ordered the prequel as well.
There's a pattern emerging here. Series that you have bought the future book but not read the first one.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you know you're going to love it, don't you? Like with the Kingdom of the Wands, it's like it's vampires and it's by Kerry Maniscalco and it's all other creatures, isn't it? So
yeah,
I felt like I knew I would like it.
Yeah, enemies to lovers and that sort of stuff.
I'm carrying over so many books. Don't feel bad. I was just saying to Kirsty before, I'm reading 6 books by accident, 4 physical copies, 1 Kindle and 1 audio, and I think most of them are going to come into 2023 with me. I'm sorry they weren't good reading months. I had decent reading months in both, but still managed to accidentally read loads of books. Yeah, what is it about Supernatural? I don't know.
I mean, they didn't show the last series on UK TV, on the standard channels.
Yeah.
So that kind of was also not good.
Yeah, and I just think anything that goes on for a long time as well, you've got to be really dedicated, haven't you? Like Smallville, I carried on right to the end. I think that had 10 seasons. And I really loved that. And by the end of that, I was a bit like, if this wasn't the last season, I think it's finished now. But obviously there's lots of people who's still really into it. Hi, Caroline. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I get that, but I'm past the point of no return. I can't read 6 books, however many I just said. In the next,
I've got a feeling if Charlie was here, I think she's mentioned influential on TikTok actually.
Yeah. I'm going to check my messages in a bit and see if Charlie's around. But if she's not, I'm sure we can manage the two of us. Just going to mark where we're up to in the comments. I'll put a couple more, of course, pop up as soon as I said that. I'm going to leave us there, otherwise we're going to be talking for hours and not do any actual sprinting. So in the sprints, I'm going to, hopefully tonight, write a new chapter and edit a previous chapter. So how about you? Did you say you're reading tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to read tonight.
Excellent.
Yeah. I've got the deadline of the end of the year.
Yes. And I've also got chocolate orange to keep me company. I think this is the last of the Christmas. Oh no, I've saved 1 box of Christmas chocolate because I've got some friends coming around on New Year's Eve, but this is the last of the Christmas chocolate I'm allowed to eat right now. So it almost feels like a chore at this point. I'm like, get it eaten, so it's all gone. Okay. Laptop is ready. I'm going to bring up the kitty. I think we will do 40 minutes, and then see how I go for the last one. Maybe do another 30-minute one if we're not falling asleep by then. If me and Kirsty can keep it going, then we'll do that. So I'm going to pop the 40-minute timer on. The kitty will meow at the end, just to warn you. We'll see you on the Hello, hi Charlie.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us. Did the kitty scare any humans or real kitties?
The kitty scared the real kitty, who was not expecting it, which then scared me because she knocked some books over. Yes, you.
My lodger was confused, asking if there was a cat.
Oh, yeah. No cats, no real cats.
No real cats, just Pomodoro kitties.
I can't cope without it now. Oh look, there's the real cat. She's so cute. So I think, did you join us quite early on in the sprint, Charlie? How did you get on?
Yeah, I've been typing up some reviews. I put some of my books away on my bookshelf, which I definitely think deserves a round of applause because I barely ever do that lately. Yeah, I've just been doing a few little bits and bobs and trying to stop this cat from walking on the keyboard, which is more difficult than it seems, isn't it?
My toddler's discovered that typing is a thing, and he now knows what my laptop does. And earlier I was writing, and he walked over and he went, "I want to write." So I opened him up his own Word document, and he was just like randomly typing. I thought, "Oh God, it's happened!" Like he knows now. So there's no. I rarely get the laptop out in front of him anyway. I don't know what I was thinking, but not safe. He's surpassed that point of being like a cat. Like cats just know that they're being irritating, don't they, and get in your way. That's what he used to do, but now he knows what I'm actually doing.
Well,
how about you, Kirsty? Did you get much reading done?
They're really long chapter. Well, I say they're long. It's like 27 pages, so I only got one chapter done. But yeah, the next one's just as long, I think. So,
are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's gone straight back into the action. I've got a feeling, that I started reading this on the end of one of our last lives, and then had to read something else. So I've had to start again from the beginning.
That happens to me all the time. Sometimes I think I haven't picked up this book but since the previous week's live, but I have been reading during the week. So I don't know what happens to me. I lose books quite regularly.
Yeah.
Or I'm buddy reading, so I end up having to like prioritize. Or reading
or review reading.
Yeah, exactly. Or thinking, oh gosh, this comes out in January, so read it as quickly as I can. I'm really enjoying this. I'm reading a fantasy book, Charlie. Look, The Luminaries. I'm enjoying it. It's happening. And you know what? I've realised what kind of fantasy I can cope with. It's grounded in reality. So it's a world that I recognise, and the world building is great, but it's not so intense that I don't understand. And everybody doesn't have a 10-syllable name that I can't pronounce or keep track of.
Yeah, like there's varying levels of fantasy, and some of it is really just like I have to be in the right mood to pick one of those up sometimes, because it can be a lot of like just world and politics and figuring things out, because you're basically trying to learn a whole new world in order for it to make sense.
Yeah, I can't cope. I can cope. My main character is called Winnie. That's fine with me. They're keeping monsters at bay. I can get it like in bite-sized chunks. You read some quite big fantasy as well, don't you, Kirsty?
Yeah. I've probably less like really, really big fantasy. I mean, I read Lord of the Rings when I was 14. That's probably the heaviest fantasy that I've read.
I've read some Brandon Sanderson, and that's quite heavy for me. But I did enjoy it because I think his writing style makes it more accessible. And I've read The Name of the Wind. Is that quite high fantasy? I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I've just finished that on audiobook, actually. Yeah. It took me quite a few months because it's like 30 hours long.
It's really long, and he's still don't rush because he's still not written the next book.
I know. I was going to read the novella.
That's a common theme with fantasy writers.
They take ages.
there's quite a few. Brandon Sanderson can be terrible because as much as I adore him and his books, I still think Mistborn's my favourite. I do like The Way of King's ones, but Mistborn's my favourite trilogy. But he brings out books, like he's brought out Warbreaker, which is then meant to be a series, but he brought Warbreaker out so long ago that I don't know when he's actually ever going to get round to making a book that goes with it. It's really frustrating.
George R. R. Martin does things as well. Like, I'm just going to write a 3,000-page book about the Targaryens and not carry on the series that I was working on.
Everybody is waiting for. Yeah.
Maybe it's the panic, isn't it, of all the hype. They're just like, I'm just going to sidestep that panicked hype book that I can't write something that...
Yeah, like, honestly, I would not want it. Like, I'm not a writer anyway, but I can't imagine anything worse than being George R. R. Martin, because there is so many people waiting for that book. There is so many. And then the TV shows came out, and then there was even more people wanting it. And it's like people have had so long to think about what they want to happen that I feel like it gets to a certain point where, well, whatever you write, you know somebody's going to get annoyed at it.
Yeah, I do feel that quite a bit, and I'm not anywhere near on his scale. I'm like at the bottom of the scale compared to him. I do feel that a bit, because I think there is that thing. There's the person who says, I want romance, all romance, nothing but romance. And then the person who says, no romance, all blood and murder, please. And you can't please both of those readers, but both of those readers come to you wanting the thing that they want. And I'm sure Game of Thrones is even more pronounced because it's so dark and bloody and so heatedly romantic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously the TV series had a mixed reaction to the ending as well, so that's got to come with its own fear.
That TV series ended and people like lost their minds. So it's like, you know how much, I don't want to say scandal, that's not the right word, but like the TV show ending got, and you're trying to end the books. No.
I got quite angry at the TV show, actually. What they did to one of the characters. I've never actually shouted at a telly before until one of the series of Game of Thrones ended with the death of a beloved character. And I did actually shout at the TV because I was wrong with you. It's pretend. I'm so angry. So for it to give that strong a reaction, it's quite intense. I saw him at the Fire and Blood, the Targaryen book. He did an event about it, and I guessed that they had prepped nobody to ask about the missing book because he didn't really talk about it. So I thought it might be a thing. It wasn't much of a thing. I think one of the audience members asked something, and he just kind of stepped around it and carried on going. He seemed quite calm about the whole thing, but maybe too calm.
Maybe that's the problem. He's just too chill.
He's very chill. He needs to get on with it, though. I think a lot of people are waiting. Right, I'm going to jump into the comments because we were talking about Supernatural before, and I think some people are back on the Supernatural discussion. So let's see where people stand on that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm at that point as well, Lizzie, where do I start where I got up to, or do I go to the beginning? Because I love the beginning so intensely. I don't know whether I just want to watch those.
I've never watched it properly.
I think you'd like it. I tried.
Don't get me wrong. I've seen snippets, and I have seen so many clips on TikTok and I am obsessed with those brothers, and I don't really know what's going on. I just know that I want to be their friends, just from the little clips. But I've never actually sat down and watched it as like. I don't even think I've seen more than 2 episodes in a row, maybe.
The dynamic between them is amazing, and that's what kept me watching for the sort of 11 seasons or whatever that I watched. But it was the fantasy side of it that lost me. It got very big and angels and demons and stuff, and I was just like, I kind of like werewolves and vampires and like little fantasy. Like as soon as it gets,
really, I mean, it used to be like a thing per episode, didn't it? But then it was overarching things, and you had to actually follow. the plots throughout episodes.
It'd be like we're looking for Dad, or we're looking for this big bad. There was a like with Buffy, there was like a big bad per season that was quite easy to comprehend, and I think that maybe that format changed a little bit. But obviously there were still thousands of people watching it for them to carry on that long. I think it did just lose a few viewers along the way. Oh, Han, we want to see. Please send us pictures. And can you do a Wednesday one after? Thank you.
Have you both watched Wednesday?
Yes. Did you watch it?
I haven't seen the last episode, so no spoilers for the last episode. But yes, I have been watching it. I'm really liking it.
Yeah, I'm surprised how much I liked it, actually, because I really love the 90s ones, and I thought that Christina Ricci was going to be a definitive Wednesday that could not be beaten. And actually, I think that New Wednesday, who I don't know the name of, but she was really, really good. How about you, Kirsty? Are you a fan?
Yeah. Like you, I liked the original movies, still do, but really enjoyed the new series. It was Jenna Ortega, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's it. I thought
visually it looks beautiful. I mean, you can't fault like the whole visual setup of all of it. It just looked awesome.
It's just that first scene with the bags. If you know, you know.
I don't know if you can see the Nightmare Before Christmas clock behind me, but I do love. In fact, there's the candlesticks there as well. I love Tim Burton's visuals. I think that his stories, I'm totally for them, and sometimes they're so wacky that I can't cope. But I just think that it was like the kind of Tim Burton that I really like, the series, the gothic side of it and the teen drama side. I just thought it was awesome. Just popping on to the next comment because somebody is reading a book called The Ghost Eaters.
Ghost Eaters, what's that? And why I'm surprised you don't know about it, Amy, if it's called Ghost Eaters.
It's got eating ghosts in the title, and I don't know. Tell us, Sharon, what is it? We want to know. Do you know, Kirsty? Are you looking it up for us?
I'm Googling. I don't know what's going to turn up, though.
I know. Sometimes you have to be a bit wary with like very broad Google searches.
Unexpected error on Goodreads. So is overcapacity. Well, that's not on.
With the misprint on. Oh, so Kit Kats was talking about the Illuminaries with the misprint on the dust jacket.
My Goodreads did the whole we don't know what you're doing.
Ah.
I'm looking for a book.
Okay. I mean, I think that's how I pronounced it. So I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think I probably didn't do it too badly. Yes, I loved that book. I hope you enjoyed, Caroline. Have either of you heard of or read The Agency for Scandal, Laura Wood's new one?
I've heard of it. It's on my list. Don't Waterstones have a really pretty sprayed edge version now? Or is that me making that up?
Possibly. I have a really beautiful Scholastic sent me like a finished copy version, but it doesn't have sprayed edges, I don't think. It's just like the really nice cover. Have you read it?
I might be imagining it.
Oh, sorry, Charlie, what are you saying? You might be imagining it. It sounds like something Waterstones would do. I'm not going to argue with you on that.
I don't know. I got £100 book voucher for Christmas.
Oh, that's
so I might have ordered that, and it might be coming into the shop tomorrow along with some other books. So there's
good decision.
So there is a book called The Ghost Eaters by Ray McCaw Chapman. I don't know if it's that one.
Charlie's got to do.
Published September 2022.
Oh, okay. Same as me. I need to look into that. I want to know what that is. That sounds interesting. I love the title.
It's about drugs. A friend tells her about Ghost, a new drug that allows users to see the dead.
Interesting. Maybe dark. You have to tell us, Sharon. Is this
sounds a bit like Flatline, kind of?
Oh yeah,
is era-esque.
Do you know? I'm just thinking, is that a pop culture reference I've not made? I need to write that one down.
Get it in there.
I'm with you that we're getting to the point where we're not going to finish our 2022 reads. 450 pages will be too many for me by the end of the year. But so Influential. I think Caroline was reading Influential. Charlie, have you enjoyed that one?
Yay! This book's genius.
What is it? Is it contemporary?
Yeah, it follows Almond, who is like an influencer. And there's loads of like mental health, and there's a mystery element going through it, and it's just fascinating. It looks at influencer culture in a really cool way. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. I want it. I'm going to have to write that down. Excellent. I mean, yeah, I think that's understandable. I think Priory is not a book that you can probably read in a couple of days. I'm sure there are people out there who've done that, but Awesome. Is Endgame one of the Noughts and Crosses books, or is that a different?
I think so. Yeah.
I haven't read all of them yet.
I've only read the first
really
one.
Sad. What's that? Sorry, Kirsty.
I said I've only read the first one actually.
Books that make me sad, I struggle with. So I haven't picked up. I think I maybe read the first couple, but it sort of stresses me out a little bit getting that sad over books and getting that invested in them. I can cope. My fantasy level is low too. I would call this really accessible fantasy, quite like an urban fantasy feel. Like, I don't know, the stuff I read in the 90s, like the kind of Charlene Harris sort of level, it's really tolerable. Like, they're a group of people who are trying to stop the bad things from getting into the world from these key points around the world, almost like a Hellmouth. So there's that slight Buffy feel to it. I think you could cope, Caroline, if I can cope, definitely.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that she got Twitter involved in creating that book.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm going to have to try and find the old... I don't know if the old threads are still on there, but I remember like getting people like the polls and people choosing what was going to happen. But I don't know whether she went... I read the acknowledgements and it sounds like she kind of did some of it, but
diverged maybe.
Yeah, some of it she had to do her own thing. I'm going to share Han's, if it'll let me share it, I'll share them on my stories if anybody wants to see Han's Enid outfit that she's making. Oh, Goodreads isn't working, so isn't it the ghost book has broken Goodreads? Oh gosh, I've enlisted my husband to help me update my Goodreads because I last updated my Goodreads in 2021. So he's going to go through my YouTube videos because I always put a list of what I've read that month. So I'm hoping that those are all accurate. I'm trying to update my Goodreads. So I'm really sorry if you're a friend of mine on Goodreads, you're going to get 1,000 notifications. Well, have I read about 100 books this year? 100 notifications from me. I haven't read them all in one go. Oh, yeah. I think people were talking about that last time. Is that the one? Is it quite dark, Han? Will I be able to cope with how dark it is? Or will it be too much?
I don't think it's too much. I think you'd be fine with it.
I read the blurb and it sounded quite gritty, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how gritty I can.
No, it's not too. But there's a couple of bits that are a little bit, but not much. You know, more of it is just some tension and wondering what's going to happen.
Okay, cool. I'll leave it on the list, and I'll not scare myself off reading it. Right, so I think it might be time for another sprint. I'm gonna try. I managed to edit a chunk of a chapter and wrote 500 words. So if I can do the same again, I'm going to reward myself with a bit more of the luminaries, and I'll keep you updated, Caroline, if the fantasy gets too much for me. But so far, so good. I'm very happy. There's just more comments that I'll go through. Endgame is the last one in that series. Psychological. I can cope with psychological. I trust you, Han and Kirsty. I'm going to keep my eye on that one. Okay, awesome. So let's go to another 40-minute sprint. Are you both okay for maybe a 40-minute and then a 30-minute to finish us off?
Sounds good.
Awesome. I'm going to put on the kitty. So let us know in the comments what you are reading, and we will see you on the other side.
See you soon.
Hello, we're back.
Hello.
Sorry if the kitty made you jump. I was just frantically writing because I've just hit my writing target and I just nearly finished a scene, and I thought if I don't finish it now, I'm going to completely forget what I was going to say. So I'm quite pleased with myself. I'd got like I'm at the 3/4 of the way point, and I've got the ending in my head, but I didn't know how the 3/4 of the way point was going to connect the ending, and I've just like connected it. So I'm really pleased.
I like it when that happens.
Yeah, it just my brain always knew obviously how it was going to sort it, but I just needed to get there in the story. Yeah. And I think I've just hit 60,000 words too, thank goodness. So I'm nearly, I think maybe 10k to go or something like that, which hopefully I can get done in the next week or so.
If you get stuck, do you kind of keep working at it, or do you just write insert scene here?
I write insert scene here, and this time I got so stuck that I went back and edited the whole thing because I was like, I think the problem might be that I'd started making some changes in my current bits I was working on, and the beginning of the book didn't reflect it, so I was getting really confused. So I went back and fixed those, and then the answers kind of came to me as I was doing that. So I would recommend that actually, because it meant I wasn't stuck for weeks. I was actually working and improving the book, and then the ending seems to be taking care of itself. So yeah, feeling quite pleased. I didn't read much, but the writing was a success. So how about you, Kirsty? How did the reading go?
I got a bit distracted, so I've still got about 10 pages of my second chapter to go. Dogs and other things got in the way.
Social media got me halfway through as well. I was like, I'll just check, and then I went down a rabbit hole. I think I've shared them on my stories, but Han's Ethel outfit from Wednesday is amazing. I shared, I think she did 2 videos, so I've shared them both. So I was watching those as well.
Check those out afterwards.
Yeah, I do. They're really good. How about you, Charlie? How did you get on? You're not tired? You okay?
No, I'm not crying. So I was
tired. Great.
I've been packing some books, and I just went to throw a printout out the way, and I hit myself in the eye with a bit of paper. So that hurts. But I've been listening to Good Omens because I love that book, and I realised that Audible have the one with David Tennant and Michael. Oh, what's his name? Sheen, who did the TV show, reading it. And it's the best thing ever. So
can I
rereading.
I've never read or watched it.
I haven't watched it.
Maybe I need to. I know, I'm really sorry. Maybe I need the audio book of it. Will that redeem me if I download the audiobook immediately? Because that sounds really good.
No, it is. It's really good. Like all the voice actors on it are very good. Plus, I love David Tennant anyway, and those two on screen together are they just work together so well as like a pairing and bounce off each other. So it's really nice to hear that as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. If that comes across in the performance. So is it a full cast as well as the two of them?
It's a mostly full cast. They haven't got like every single side character, but they've got the kind of like main ones, and then the main narrator I think is the one that kind of did the voiceover narration-y parts in the show as well.
Oh wow!
Or sounds very similar to that person. So it's great. I love it. I love anything Terry Pratchett anyway, but Good Omens is just fun, and I mean it's leading to Armageddon, or is it? I'm not going to spoil it, but like it's just so much fun. Like it's just like fun, and
it's really witty, isn't it? I do need to get around to watching the TV show because I did enjoy the book. So
it's the TV show is really well done. Like, I mean, I would just watch David Tennant and Michael Sheen play those two characters like alone with no plot, like because their friendship in it is just fab.
Didn't they do some little things for skits for comic relief in those characters as well?
Yeah. They just they bounce off each other very well.
That's really cool. You convinced me to do this every time, Charlie. I think I'm never going to read or watch that. And then I hear you talk about stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go and download it now. Give me a minute. You're very persuasive. I'm going to bring a comment up. Hi, thank you for popping on. We are having fun. Charlie's convincing me to read things that I never thought I'd read again. Oh, fun. Oh, Heartstopper colouring book. Sorry, what? I don't know.
It is a thing. It is a full thing. It's a full. I want it.
I thought I wasn't going to do any more colouring because I've got so many other things that I'd need to. At the minute, it's all about cross stitch. I'm cross stitching in my spare time, but now I want a Heartstopper colouring book.
So yeah, it's really cute.
Maybe, I suppose. Oh, I wish I'd done that actually. I've got a teacup waiting for me with a tea bag in it, but I actually forgot to make the tea. So maybe I'll do that in last sprint. Oh, come on, Han, you're nearly there. You can do it. Also, I don't know whether you heard me say, but your videos were amazing. If you're still around to hear me say it, they're really good. You should all go and watch Han's Ethel from Wednesday cosplay. She's so clever. So clever. I wish I could do that. Okay, I think it might be time for one more 30-minute sprint because I can feel the coherence like deteriorating as I'm speaking. So I'm going to change it to 30 minutes, the Pomodoro Kitty, and then if we catch up at the other side, the three of us, and then we'll see if anybody in the comments has got anything else to add. So let us know if you've got anything else to say. One thing I want to mention as well is Charlie is going to be joining me on my YA book club in January. Hooray, hooray. And it looks, Charlie, like fantasy might be winning on the Goodreads poll.
Everyone come join and vote fantasy.
Yeah, I feel like you may be campaigning like secretively, Charlie, or something is going on. Or everybody.
When I first voted, I will say there was like one other vote for fantasy. And I just put like a funny comment saying, well, let's face it, I'm probably going to vote fantasy every month. And then I came back because some other people had commented and it was like right at the top. And I was like,
I think it's myself. I asked Charlie to come on and suddenly all the fantasy readers like... So you need to find me some very gentle, accessible fantasy to read in the YA book club. But we are reading Frozen Charlotte, which is my choice in January because I didn't let anybody pick this time, which is a red eye horror about creepy little dolls. It's so good. But if you don't like horror, then Charlie will.
I am very excited to read it. It's gonna be one of my first reads of 2022. Yay. I need to go pick it up, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, I am going to skip this one because creepy little dolls just give me the greatest good time.
I'm going to do the best. I'm not promising in February. I'm not promising I ain't going to be like sat in the brightest room with a torch with my back against the wall, like, and some kind of weapon.
I read it on holiday in Portugal and they'd got all these caves under this Gothic estate. And all I could think when I was in these caves was that I could see Frozen Charlotte dolls. And I've never been actually so creeped out by something. I could see little blurs in my vision. And I didn't know Alex then, the author. But I did message her like on Twitter, like, actually, you've just ruined a day of my holiday because your book is so scary. And she's like, thank you. I'm just so glad. And I've got to know her since. And she's super lovely. I don't know where all the dark and scary stuff comes from, but she is giving me some signed book plates. So I will be able to hand them out to people as prizes and stuff. So that'll be really nice. So yeah, please come and read Scary Doll books with us. Anybody in the comments if you'd like to join us. Or like Kirsty, feel free to skip this month if dolls that kill
I'll join in with the fantasy on in February.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I kind of want us to do. I don't just want it to be all about the stuff that I read. I think it'd be quite interesting to read outside my usual genres. So I'm kind of letting people pick the genre sometimes, picking the book, letting contributors. So if I've got people like Charlie on board who knows her fantasy, I think it might be safe to leave this one up to Charlie.
You do. I am going to be on like the epic search of a lifetime to find the perfect like introductory fantasy book for Amy.
Yeah, and I think it'd be nice. The reason I picked
at you and keep you in the fantasy lovers group.
That's what I want. And I don't necessarily like, I was thinking I've got lots of friends who have books coming out in January, but I didn't pick any of those intentionally because I thought people might already have read those or be reading them. But Frozen Charlotte, because it's older. So I think if it's stuff from a few years ago or maybe things that are a bit less mainstream or obvious, like not like say Cynthia Murphy's got a book coming out in January, which I've read and is super exciting, but I thought people might have read early copies of it and stuff. So maybe I'll try and choose things that aren't the obvious like big reads for January, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm trying to think outside the box a little bit with the picks because I feel like people will read those books anyway. So yeah, if you can think of something slightly obscure, Charlie, and maybe not brand new, and that I will cope with, that would be really helpful.
I'll raid my lower shelves. That sounds really creepy. My lower shelves.
Just a little bit. I'd have been more worried if you said like the high shelves out of reach of children, but
no. Well, I don't have to. I just have pets, so
yeah, this is true.
Really, like the higher shelves tend to be my UKYA like recent stuff.
Okay.
And then the lower it gets, i.e., the more out of frame the shot is.
That's true.
The more chaotic it gets.
Say, my bottom shelf at the minute is just piles of mess that I haven't fit anywhere else yet, and are never in frame, so it's all fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've given Charlie a homework. I'm going to put on the kitty, and we will see you all in half an hour. So this is the final sprint. Anybody who missed me saying that?
Cool. We'll see you then.
No, I was not ready for that. Still there, needle in hand. I got really into it. We're watching Strongman as well. We're into World's Strongest Man. And so I was just watching a stone off between two of the strongmen. It is last year's. For some reason, we didn't end up finishing it last year, and they were just sitting there on the box. So that's my last sprint. It's not working anymore. Given up on that whole bit. So, how about you, Charlie? Did you get much done? Yay! Oh, hang on. Sorry, I didn't hear that, Charlie. I don't think you were muted, but I couldn't hear you. Can you hear Charlie?
No, I can't hear Charlie.
Oh, we can't hear you. You're not muted, so I can't see why. No. Oh dear, we've lost you. Have you got a microphone or anything, Charlie? I'll talk to you, Kirsty, while Charlie just has a minute to sort herself out. So, Kirsty, how did you get on during that sprint?
So I finished 3 chapters in total tonight, 66 pages. Awesome. Not as much as I'd like, but not bad. Not bad.
It just depends how you feel. You can't force it, I don't think, with reading. It's just like with writing, it's kind of either there or it's not.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had two days where I've kind of blitz read books, so I think I may be a bit exhausted.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder if I'm speed reading for the sake of it, and am I actually enjoying it? And sometimes you need to slow it down and still enjoy yourself again. Any luck, Charlie?
No.
I've just lost you. It's so strange. I'll just remove you and add you again and see if that helps it. So don't panic. I'm just going to remove you. Right, Charlie's gone.
You'll do the magic.
And she's back. Are you there?
No.
Oh, I don't know what's happened. I'm assuming it's something to do with
you haven't got some headphones stuck in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Let's switch to.
Yeah, just check. I'd say check which microphone is coming out of in your settings. I'll just go through the comments, have a quick look at your settings, Charlie. But if not, we might have to just have you miming for the last bit of it. We're nearly done. Anyway, you are welcome, Han. I think that was me complimenting Han on her amazing sewing skills, making her Enid outfit. Oh, you just make us want to buy the Heart Stuff Off the Room book. So tempting. Okay, so if you're talking about the YA Book Club, Paul, it is in the YA Book Club 2022 Goodreads group. It's linked on my social media, so if you can't find it, just pop to my Twitter because I've tweeted about it very recently. And you should be able to vote and see a poll for next month's book. Yay, me too. I have always wanted to do one because I don't see that many YA-specific book clubs, if any. And I know people like Charlie do loads for UK YA, so I wanted to kind of do my bit and chat to people about YA books specifically. And yes, Charlie's book, Charlie's shop is awesome if you're looking for book packages. I don't know if she can hear us complimenting her, but Charlie does a lot.
Does a lot.
I can hear you.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Again, Charlie, what have you just done? We can hear you. Yay!
I don't know what I did.
Well, you're back in time for the compliments.
It's obviously you just needed to compliment me and then
just summoned your voice.
Just lost your voice.
Oh, bless. Well, you're back. That's all that matters. Hi, Laura. Thank you for joining us. Awesome. I hope you managed to do a little bit of reading in that last sprint. Yay! Well done, Man.
Well done.
Reading done in the last one as well. Excellent. Well done, Libby. And well done. Everybody is doing great. So, Charlie, you were just miming to us what you did during the last sprint. I'm assuming they're packages in the background.
Yeah, they're packages, including someone has ordered your book. So your book is currently in there. I did try and get it in shot while I was packing it, and then I was like, everybody's working. So
thank you. I'll watch it back after. I will see you.
But yeah, so I've been packing up some orders and sorting some bits out, and then basically tomorrow I did some extra of the TBR cards that I put in December's box. So I need to think of something to do with those.
Cool. Giveaway.
Because they're fun.
I need to add those onto my TBR for next year.
I've done my January TBR and it is so ambitious. I don't know what I'm doing to myself already. I read quite a lot of books in December, so I was like, I can read 12 books in January, can't I? That's, a book every couple of days. With a toddler and a job and a book to finish, that's doable.
Well, it's like, see, part of me, I don't know what to read at the moment because I've just read a really good book. And then part of me is like, if I don't read anything between now and now and January, I'm not carrying anything over.
Could you read a manga or something? Read something really short and palette cleansing.
I do have a pile of like graphic novels.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Although this is chunky,
oh,
5 Survive is super. You won't want it down. So I'd recommend that for the last 2 days of the year.
I have that edition. I wish I'd known about that one. I just got a normal edition of it, and I've ordered the audiobook as well. So I think I'm going to read it in January, but on audiobook probably.
I think the audio will be quite good, actually. I'm interested to know if it's a full cast one, actually, or if it's just a standard audiobook. Oh, actually, there's quite a ton of
the Good Girls Guide ones were really good.
Were they?
And they had, I don't think they were quite a full cast, like Charlie said. I think there was some doubling up of voice actors and stuff, like the Good Omens one, but it was really, really good and quite a few. Do it. Please contribute to fantasy winning, because although it gives me I'm going to give Charlie very specific criteria that it can't be over a certain number of pages, that the names can't be longer than a line for a character's name is a no-go.
To be fair, a lot of there's a certain section of my shelf which is books that are like over 400 pages, and that is quite a large section, but I also have like an even bigger section that's fantasy that's like 300, 400 max. So like there's some that are even shorter than that.
I mean, when I think of fantasy, I tend to get scared by, the 800 page plus epics. But I love things like Throne of Swans and Melinda Salisbury's books, which I class as fantasy. So I can kind of cope with the beautiful, magical kind of fantasy. I think it's anything that seems really difficult because I'm usually tired when I'm reading. I can't cope if they're really dense books in lots of ways. Dense in terms of world building and names. I just struggle. Oh, cool. Yeah, I do love a full cast audiobook. I'm just scared. I was saying earlier, Libby, I'm not sure whether you heard that the first or second book, I don't want to give spoilers too much, but I couldn't cope with how much it broke my heart. So I haven't read past the first couple. I'm very soft when it comes to books. Yeah, I'm jealous about the
sprayed edges.
I did have to phone round and beg for somebody to put it aside for me. Luckily, I managed to get them because
I always regret not getting sprayed edge editions. I managed to get one of 16 Souls when that came. I couldn't remember if I'd ordered the sprayed edge edition. I was like, yes, when it came, but I just put in the normal Waterstones order for 5 Survive. I think I ordered it so early, like as soon as it was announced that the other stuff hadn't come out yet. I do that quite often.
Yeah, that's why
that's what annoys me about Waterstones, actually, is when you order so early that then you don't actually end up with a special edition, and you're like, but I clearly ordered early because I wanted it.
I've seen the other side of that. I think what happens is it goes through a data feed. This is really boring. I'm sorry, feel free to tune out, but your publisher uploads it, so it all just gets pulled through onto everywhere. And I think that all that stuff tends to still be under negotiation. So Waterstones is like deciding who they're going to do signed editions for and stuff like that, and it's very difficult.
But right, I want. So obviously, most people have probably seen that I cried over the end of the ballad of Never After. I want to pre-order the other one, but you're not telling me that there isn't going to be a zillion sprayed edges special editions of that. I'm not ordering one unless now, only because nowhere's got any information on them. they're all just like, pre-order this one, and I'm like, but I want a fancy one.
I know, and it's difficult because which of the book boxes will have it as well? Like, will Lemur Crate and Fairy Loot have it? Do you make sure that you're getting one or the other of them? That's what I find difficult with the book boxes. I kept getting caught out, like I'd paused it for a bit and then a book had come and I'd really wanted that one. So I ended up cancelling them all. And I've done really badly recently with getting the editions that I want of stuff.
Yeah. I just wish with Waterstones that they would like email out everybody that's pre-ordered a book when a special edition is announced.
Yeah.
And
do you want
to swap
a special version?
Yeah.
Or are you okay with like
a boring one?
Well, yeah, true.
It's all
but
different.
Like, some people aren't as bothered, are they?
Yeah.
No, some people aren't bothered.
They should give that option first to the people that have already pre-ordered it. But
yeah, I've noticed on websites like Forbidden Planet, I always check if they've got signed editions as well, because people like Grady Hendrix seems to always sign books for them. So I went on to order how to buy or sell a haunted house, whichever thing you can do with a haunted house. And they happen to have a signed one of it. So it's always worth checking places like that. If they have some sprayed edge editions, like I know they did Every Line of You, they had the sprayed edges one. But generally, I feel quite safe. If I just want a signed one, like for Grady Hendrix, then they will have a signed one. Yeah, it's very tricky.
They're very good for sprayed ones, actually. Sprayed ones, signed ones.
Yeah.
They're super good. And I didn't even know that they really did books until I went to London for Rebel Sky's launch. And then I walked in and I was like,
the book department, I've been going to Forbidden Planet since my late teens, so you're talking nearly 20 years now. And the books have apparently like blown up. I think the last few years, particularly, I think COVID, they did a lot of online ordering and stuff, and they were really reliable for customers. And they've always had books as far as since I've been going there, but just recently, some of the signed stuff they're getting is just amazing. And I know that they're part of Titan, so if you get stuff published by Titan, they're kind of linked to each other, so you can get some good editions of like the V. Schwab books. Like I think they had an edition of Gallant, because as far as I know, I think they're in the same building, Titan Publishing and the Forbidden Planet like head office. That's my mission at some point. I haven't been invited to the head office yet. I went and signed a load of books. I felt quite special. They've got a little room, and I went and signed, I can't remember how many, a couple of hundred, I think, maybe a few hundred copies of my second book in there, and loads of the staff were there, and they like passed me the book open and ready, so I felt like a proper author at that moment. But
did you not feel really stressed though? That you had to do it quicker?
Yeah, it's a weird feeling, and I'm left-handed too, so I get the smudging like panic as well with every word I write. I used to be a teacher, and I used to wipe stuff off with my hand on the board as well, particularly on whiteboards. I'd be writing, just steadily wiping my own words off. Yeah, lots of weird, surreal things about being an author that I never thought would be a problem. What pen will be the least smudgy for a left-handed person? And this is the kind of stuff that I have to wrestle with on a daily basis.
Do you have shares in like a pen company?
Do you know what? If you ever want a non-smudgy pen, I've got so many different recommendations. I'm just compulsive about it because I've tried them all. And generally, the answer is yes, they do smudge. So there are the occasional ones that are better than others. Okay, so I might be able to continue then. Sinister and action-packed is better to me than really heartbreakingly sad. I can't cope. Well, I cope with The Ballad of Never After, Charlie, because I haven't read that yet. Maybe DM me if you think I can cope or not, if you can't say.
It's the very end bit, and it's going to be fine, because I know for a fact that we are all going to riot if it is not fixed. It's not like overly it's not like world-shatteringly bad. Like, it's a redeemable sadness.
Okay.
It could be a moment in the roller coaster. But yeah, I did cry.
Okay. I don't feel too bad.
Rather emotional.
I've got it waiting for me, but I haven't picked it up yet. I think I have to be in the right mood, because it is that kind of fantasy feel that I'm not always in the mood for. I can hear a little boy talking, so I'm gonna head off, I think, because at some point this is gonna escalate to "Mummy, I want my mummy."
I was gonna say, I'm hoping it's your little boy and not like a creepy doll boy.
Not yeah. That's right. Kev, can you pop up and see him, and I'll come in a sec. So thank you, you two. I'm sorry to rush this and just dash off.
All right.
Thank you everybody for coming. Please chat to me on social media if there's something you didn't manage to say, or if I missed your comment, because I'm gonna have to just go and do toddler duty. So night everybody. Hopefully I'll catch you all next week.
Nice to see you again, Charlie.
Bye.